Uncle Wiggly long ears. I didn't know about Uncle Wiggly until recently. Howard Roger Garris wrote over 10,000 Uncle Wiggly stories. He's one of the most prolific children's writers. Now, before I continue, I want to make sure I'm not in too much competition with the air conditioner. How's my volume?
Good.
Great. All right, so we're going to start with one of the earliest Uncle Wiggly stories, Uncle Wiggly's rheumatism. Once upon a time, not so many years ago, there lived in a hollow stump in the woods an old gentleman named Uncle Wiggly Longears. He was one of the nicest old rabbit gentlemen you would want to meet if you rode all day in an automobile and part of the next day, too, for all I know. The only trouble about Uncle Wiggly was that he had the rheumatism most painfully, and that's really all you need to know about Uncle Wiggly. The story I'm going to read you about Uncle Wiggly is Uncle Wiggly at a Fire. Chapter 18 of this book. Uncle Wiggly, oh Uncle Wiggly, called Nurse Jane Fuzzy Wuzzy, the muskrat lady, to the rabbit gentleman one morning before breakfast. Come, it is time to get up. You are late. Uncle Wiggly did not answer. That is strange, thought Nurse Jane. I wonder if he can have gotten up early and have gone out without me knowing it. Oh, you Uncle Wiggly, she called still louder. This time she heard a groan up in the rabbit gentleman's room. Oh, what is the matter? Cried the muskrat lady. Has anything happened, Uncle Wiggly? Yes, he answered. I am too ill to come down to breakfast this morning. I think I have the goose pip or the hen epidemic. I can't tell which. Oh, mercy me and the potato masher, exclaimed Nurse Jane. We must have Dr. Possum in at once. I'll go for him. Away she ran, dragging her long tail after her, for Nurse Jane did not take the time to stop and do her tail up in curl papers, as she sometimes did. Quick, Dr. Possum, she called when she reached his office. Come to Uncle Wiggly at once. He has been down to his breakfast, and maybe he has the pip, or epizootic, or both. This is dreadful, said the possum gentleman. I'll come right away. And when he got to Uncle Wiggly's house, and felt of the rabbit's ears, and made him twinkle his nose to see how well he could do it, Dr. Possum said, well, you are quite ill, my dear old rabbit friend, but I think I can cure you. I will give you a few green pills, and some red ones, and a little yellow powder, and some purple medicine to drink, and then you will all be well. Mercy, all that stuff to take, cried Uncle Wiggly. I had rather be ill than do that. But he kept on feeling worse, so when Dr. Possum took all the strangely colored medicines out of his satchel, Uncle Wiggly was glad enough to take some of them. Well, I hope they don't make me feel like a rainbow, said Uncle Wiggly, smiling sort of Sally-like. Dr. Possum took off his glasses and put them in his pocket. And then he said, oh, I forgot. While you are ill, Uncle Wiggly, I want you to drink nothing but seltzer water. I wanted to show you I didn't make that up. There's right there. Seltzer water? What is that, pray tell? Asked the rabbit, curious-like. Seltzer water is just like soda water, only it hasn't any sweet stuff or ice cream in it, explained Dr. Possum. It comes in big bottles with shiny tops, handle to push it, and, oh, I know about that, interrupted Nurse Jane. Seltzer water comes from the drugstore, and when you press down on the shiny handle on top of the bottle, the seltzer water squirts all over and foams and sizzles like anything. Exactly, agreed Dr. Possum, and I want that for Uncle Wiggly. He must have seltzer water. So Nurse Jane went to the drugstore for some, and when she came back with it, the rabbit gentleman was asleep. He felt a little better when he wakened, but he was still quite ill. Now, said Nurse Jane that afternoon, I have to go out to the store to get something for supper. Do you think you'll be all right alone, by yourself, Wiggly? Or shall I get Grandfather Goosey Gander to come in and stay with you until I come back? Oh, I am well enough to stay by myself, said Uncle Wiggly. I have all my medicines where I can reach them, and my bottle of fizzy seltzer water as well. Then he squirted a little of the sparkling, bubbling soda water into a glass and drank it. He drank the water, not the glass, you know. Or jump ahead a little bit. Sammy Littletail, his rabbit boyfriend, came in and decided that, you know, when someone's sick, what you want to do is cook with marshmallows in the kitchen. And that's what Sammy Littletail was doing until something happened. The marshmallow candy caught fire. How it blazed up, and Sammy cried, oh me, oh my! Then he quickly pulled back the blazing candy away from over the fire, and something else happened. The blazing candy fell on the floor and set fire to the oilcloth. Fire, fire, he cried out. Upstairs in bed, Uncle Wiggly heard it. He heard Sammy crying and he smelled the smoke. Ha! The house is on fire, exclaimed the rabbit gentleman. I must put it out. But how? I can't get down to the kitchen to turn on the water in the sink. There's too much smoke. Then he saw his seltzer bottle. The very thing, cried the rabbit gentleman. That is as good as a fire engine. Out of bed, ill as he was, he jumped, catching up the bottle of fizzy soda water. Down the stairs he went until he was near the kitchen, and he pressed on the shiny handle and squirted all the bubbling water in the bottle on the fire. Fizz went the seltzer water. Hiss went the fire like a snake. And in a minute, it was all out, and the kitchen was hardly burnt at all. Wasn't that good? Oh, I'm so sorry, cried Sammy. It was all my fault for dropping the blazing marshmallow. Never mind, you meant it for the best, said Uncle Wiggily kindly, and I feel much better. I think the fire cured me. And so it had, and he didn't have to take any more seltzer water.